Everyone loves a vampire, from Christopher Lee's charismatic Dracula via the insipid toothsome teens of Twilight to the sexier vampires of True Blood or The Lost Boys. There's an appeal to sleeping all day, partying all night, never growing old and never dying, yet still role-playing as an actual vampire in a video game is something we've had few real opportunities to do. That's something Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines 2 is hoping to change. Those of you who got the chance to play Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines on PC back in 2004 fondly remember it as an ambitious if hugely flawed vampire RPG based on a tabletop RPG. It put you in the role of a newly made vampire finding its fangs in a post-dusk Los Angeles. There was a lot to love about the game, but its ambition was marred by clumsy mechanics and the limitations of the time. But now a belated sequel looks like it will fully realize our vampire RPG fantasies. Even though it's been 15 years, fans can rest easy. Developer Hardsuit Labs has roped in original game writer Brian Mitsoda to help craft a faithful follow-up for our gameplay demo. We're placed in the shoes of Thin Blood, the name given to a weaker vampire who has just been embraced, that is, turned into a bloodsucker at this point of character creation. Once Upon a Time in Roswell is a first-person psychological horror game that chronicles an investigation, a 1947 mystery that takes place in Roswell, New Mexico. Delve deep into the strange world of Roswell as you embark on an investigation to find a family who have been missing for more than a week. Uncover horrific flashbacks of war and beings not of this earth. Realize the terrible truth that has consumed the Peterson family whilst you walk through their ever-changing home and memories, battling your own identity and purpose. You look at the case files strewn across your desk, the green lamp illuminating the coffee stains that disfigure the wood. The radio plays the news quietly in the background. The Peterson family missing for over a week, no trace, little evidence passed from one detective to another, finally coming to rest in peace on your desk. Going over the paperwork, something gnaws at you. People don't just disappear into thin air, something is always left behind. We always leave something behind. The radio picks up yet another tale of little green men and flying saucers. You tell yourself it's a load of baloney, but truthfully it creeps you out as much as everyone else. Closing the case files, you pick up your hat and prepare yourself. This afternoon you're going to the Petersons' home to conduct a final search. Your intention to find them dead or alive, but the game unfortunately doesn't stick with this type of atmosphere throughout the preview. Build the other environment. Shinji Mikami took the stage at Bethesda's E3 conference this year to announce Tango Gameworks' first new project since The Evil Within 2. Ghostwire Tokyo will be an action-adventure game in which you'll fight paranormal enemies and rid the city of supernatural evil. After giving an introduction, Mikami handed the stage to Ghostwire's creative director Akumi Nakamura to tell us more about the studio's next thriller. In the announcement trailer, people are shown disappearing like they've been raptured. There are several kinds of creepy spirits, some even look like they're actively disappearing. Frighten citizens. The trailer ends with a bow-wielding character who seems to be the protagonist casting some kind of magic, maybe for dispelling evil spirits, and saying, "Don't fear the unknown, attack it." We don't have much info aside from the announcement trailer and brief words from Mikami. And in Ghostwire Tokyo, people are vanishing into thin air, and it's going to be up to you to find out why. Mikami said you will fight paranormal enemies and rid the city of a supernatural evil. Partway through the trailer, we can see people in a shopping center disappear, leaving only the clothes. We also see strange, creepy figures with umbrellas, and for a split second one of them is able to make someone on the ground vanish. How mysterious. Nakamura explained that you have to explore the world and face challenges. Not long after a recent State of Play gave us an official release date in September, news recently came to light that we now won't be able to play The Last of Us 2 until May next year, despite fears that the game would end up a PS5 exclusive. The sequel to the critically acclaimed The Last of Us will be with us in mid-2020. Even better, we've finally been allowed to go hands-on with the game, and we'll have lots of new information to share on September 26th. Until then, here's everything we do know and a few rumors too into this handy guide to all things The Last of Us 2. We haven't seen Joel yet, but no, he's still around, as the latest episode 3 gameplay demo makes explicit reference to Ellie's old man still that doesn't name Joel explicitly, so there's still a chance his presence will be a psychological one rather than a literal one. Naughty Dog does love misdirecting its audience before its big game's release when discussing the possibility that the game might follow a new cast. Director Neil Druckmann has stated that The Last of Us is about these two characters specifically at last year's PlayStation Experience Part 2 feat, is saying this is going to be a larger story. It's going to be a complementary story to the first game, but together the two combined are going to tell this much larger tale. How can you feel anything but astonishment as you look out upon what Techland is engineering here? There's this moment in the opening minutes of the new Dying Light 2 gameplay demo that immediately sells the concept behind this monstrous creation, where player-protagonist Aiden Caldwell opens up a door from the dimly lit confines of Frank's bar and steps out into the sprawling metropolis that is the city here. Gazing out across the shattered high-rise structures of District 2, I'm met with this sickening feeling swelling in the pit of my stomach. I honestly couldn't tell you whether that's just, or if it's just my brain attempting to process a sense of awe on a scale that I'm not yet able to properly pass. Regardless of which of the two it is, I do know and recognize in an instant that Dying Light 2 is operating to a scale and scope the likes of which I have never seen before in an action RPG. To that end, everything about Dying Light 2 feels impossibly well realized. And listen, I understand that the demo is running on a PC powerful enough to render the National Missile Defense System inert, but the impressiveness on display here extends far beyond the shimmering graphical and performance presentation on full display from Techland. If it wasn't apparent when you're standing atop a rooftop, it sure as hell is made clear once you get yourself down to street level. Dying Light 2 makes you feel like little more than a loose thread in a large tapestry.